The city of New Geneva slept under a calm night sky. The streets were quiet, the air cool. Streetlights glowed like watchful eyes, but they saw nothing unusual, at least. Not yet. Miles above Earth, something moved in the darkness. Massive shadows drifted through the void, blocking out the stars. They were not meteors. They were ships, huge, silent, and covered in strange black metal that reflected no light dot at the International Space Watch Station. Officer Lena Ortiz sat in her chair, sipping cold coffee. She squinted at the monitor. "What the hell is that?" she whispered. The radar screen showed multiple contacts entering Earth's orbit, but there were no transponder codes. Number signals, no hails. "Control, this is Ortiz. We have unidentified objects approaching. Size massive. No coms." Her voice trembled as the shapes grew larger on the screen. Then, without warning, every instrument on the station went dead. No radar, no lights, no sound, just darkness. Lena's coffee cup slipped from her hand and floated slowly in zero gravity. On the streets of New Geneva, a man named Ethan Cross leaned against the hood of his car, smoking a late-night cigarette. He looked up to see the stars disappearing, swallowed by something huge above the clouds. His cigarette fell from his mouth. "Babe, you seeing this?" He called into his phone. Before his girlfriend could answer, a deep hum filled the air, low, vibrating, unnatural. The ground trembled. Dogs barked and car alarms screamed. From the clouds, a massive ship emerged. It was shaped like a blade, black and sharp-edged, covered in glowing blue veins. It moved slowly, silently, blotting out the moon, and it was not alone. Dozens of smaller ships followed, gliding into formation like soldiers on parade. People poured into the streets, phones raised, filming the impossible. Some shouted in excitement, others in fear. "Are they aliens?" A boy whispered to his mother. No one answered. The largest ship descended over the city square. It hovered there, motionless, the hum deepening until it rattled teeth. The air smelled like metal and ozone. A thin beam of blue light shot from the ship to the ground, forming a tall column. Slowly, a figure began to appear inside the light, tall, thin, dressed in black armor that looked grown, not made. Its skin was pale gray, eyes black and depthless. When it spoke, its voice was deep and cold, echoing through the square without. "Speakers, people of Earth," it said, "you belong to us now." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Some laughed nervously, thinking it a stunt. Others stepped back in fear. "You will work," the alien continued. "You will obey. Those who resist will be removed." A man in the crowd shouted, "We're not your slaves." The alien tilted its head, almost curious. Then it raised one long hand. A pulse of light flashed and the man was gone. No scream, no body, just gone. The crowd froze in shock. A child began to cry. More beams of light shot down from the smaller ships, depositing armored soldiers into the streets. They moved with inhuman speed, seizing people, scanning them with strange devices. Some were shoved toward transports. Others simply vanished. Ethan grabbed his phone to film, but before he could press record, a soldier appeared in front of him. Its black eyes scanned him, then it hissed in a language he couldn't understand. Ethan turned and ran. At the Space Watch Station, backup power flickered on. Lena Ortiz tried to send a distress signal, but the systems refused to respond. Every frequency was jammed. Then a message appeared on her main monitor, white text on a black background. "Do not resist." The ship spread across the planet. From London to Tokyo, New York to Johannesburg, the scene was the same: silent landings, cold announcements, and sudden disappearances. In an underground command center, a group of military officers watched the invasion on giant screens. General Marcus Rain stood with his arms crossed, jaw tight. "They didn't fire a single shot," he said. They just took us. A young officer turned to him. Sir, what do we do? Rain's eyes stayed on the screen, watching alien soldiers. March through Washington, D.C. We wait, he said quietly. We watch and we remember. Back in New Geneva, Ethan hid in a dark alley, breathing hard. Above him, the blade-shaped mothership still hovered, a silent judge over the city. He heard the alien leader's voice again, repeating the same chilling words in every language at once. You belong to us now. But as Ethan crouched there, shaking, he saw movement in the shadows. A woman in a tattered jacket slipped out from a side door and pressed a finger to her lips. In her other hand, she held something small, metallic, glowing faintly red. You want to live? She whispered. Ethan nodded. Then follow me, and stay quiet. Before he could ask who she was, they disappeared into the maze of alleys. Behind them, the hum of the alien ships deepened, and the city's lights went out one by one, until only the glow from the alien vessels remained. Somewhere deep under the city, in a place the aliens hadn't reached yet, resistance was already being born. And though no one knew it yet, the invaders had just made their first mistake. The world had changed. Where cities once bustled with life, now only silence and shadows remained. The alien ships ruled the skies like cold, dark gods. People were no longer free, they were prisoners, herded like cattle. In a once busy factory turned prison camp, guards with strange glowing weapons marched rows of humans through barbed fences. The air was thick with fear and the metallic taste of sweat. A young woman named Mira shuffled along with the crowd. Her hands were raw from the rough chains around her wrists. She glanced around, eyes sharp despite the exhaustion. Keep moving, barked an alien soldier. Its voice was harsh but oddly calm, like a machine. Myra's friend, Jonas, leaned close and whispered, Do you think they want slaves or something worse? Mira shook her head. Slaves? No, they want control. Total control. Suddenly, an alarm blared. The crowd froze. The aliens shouted orders, pushing people faster toward large ships waiting to take them away. In the command tower above, the alien leader from before stood watching the operation with cold satisfaction. His black eyes scanned the screens showing humans being sorted by strength, age, and health. Strong workers for the mines. Weak ones for ... tests, he said to a subordinate. Prepare the transports. Earth's resources will soon be ours. Below, Jonas tried to calm a frightened child beside him. Don't look at them. They feed on fear. Mira's gaze caught a small group of guards talking in low voices. They didn't notice her watching. One of them said, The humans have no hope. Our control is perfect. But another replied, Don't be sure. There are whispers, some pockets of resistance. Mira's heart beat faster. Could there really be hope? Later, in a darkened room beneath the city, a small group of humans gathered. Their leader was a man named Rainstrong, with a scar across his cheek and fire in his eyes. We cannot wait for rescue, Rain said quietly. We must fight, even if it feels hopeless. A woman nodded, holding a makeshift weapon. We have to save those taken. They're not just slaves, they're family. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the building. The walls vibrated as more alien ships landed nearby. We have little time, Rain warned. We move tonight. Back at the prison camp, Mira noticed a strange light on her chain. It glowed red, then blue, then stopped. What's happening? She whispered. Jonas looked at her, wide-eyed. I think it's a tracker. Before she could answer, soldiers pushed the prisoners onto ships. The air grew heavy as engines roared to life. From the skies, a new voice boomed. Earth will serve the Empire. Resistance is futile. But in the shadows, a spark of rebellion flickered. And even in chains, hope was not yet broken. The city above lay in ruin, silent except for distant echoes of alien patrols. But deep beneath the broken streets of New Geneva, something burned bright, a hidden flame of hope in a forgotten subway tunnel. A small group of humans moved quickly and quietly. Their faces were grim but determined. At their head was Captain Rain, his eyes sharp and cold like steel. "We can't waste time," Rain whispered as he checked a crude map. "The aliens control the surface. They hunt us everywhere. But down here, we are safe for now." Beside him, Mira nodded. "We need weapons. We can't fight with bare hands." A young engineer named Sam held up a strange device, one that glowed faintly red. "I've been working on this. It's alien tech, but we're learning how to use it." Rain's gaze hardened. "Good. We take what they left behind and turn it against them." Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed from above. Everyone froze. "Aliens?" Mira whispered. "No," Rain said softly. "Humans, friends." The tunnel opened to a small chamber where a group of people waited: soldiers, scientists, and survivors. Their faces showed years of pain but also a fierce will to survive. One of them stepped forward, a woman with silver hair and sharp eyes. "We intercepted their communications," she said. "They plan to send more troops tonight. If we don't act fast, it's over." Rain looked around the room. "We strike first. We hit their supply lines, disrupt their control." Mira clenched her fists. "But how? They have weapons we barely understand." Sam smiled grimly. "We don't need to understand everything. We just need to surprise them." The group worked late into the night, assembling weapons from scraps and alien parts. The air was thick with tension and the quiet hum of machines. Hours later, Rain stood before the gathered fighters. "This is more than a fight. It's a chance to reclaim our world, to remind them we are not broken." Outside, the city lights flickered as alien ships moved overhead, searching. But below, in the shadows, humans prepared their first real strike. The moment came. Explosions rocked the alien supply depot. Alarms blared. Alien soldiers rushed out, confused and angry. Rain and his team moved fast, striking from the darkness, disappearing before the enemy could react. But as they retreated, an unexpected sound stopped them, an alien voice, calm and cold. "You think this changes anything?" it said. From the shadow stepped a figure, tall, armored, eyes burning like coals. It was the alien leader himself. Rain's heart pounded. "This fight is not over," he said. The alien smiled, cold and cruel. "No, Captain, it has only just begun." As the fighters disappeared into the tunnels, the weight of war pressed down heavier than ever. But the flame inside them burned stronger. They would fight. They would survive, because even in the darkest places, hope could not be crushed. Night had fallen over the ruined city when the alarm sounded. It was a low, deep warning, a sound no one had ever heard before. The humans below knew what it meant. The time had come. Captain Rain stood at the entrance of the underground tunnels, looking up through a small crack in the rubble. The sky was dark, but the stars were still visible, shining cold and distant. "They're moving," Rain said quietly. "The aliens are sending a mining transport ship out of orbit tonight." Mira tightened her grip on her weapon. "If we destroy that ship, it will hurt them badly. They depend on those transports." Sam checked the device he carried. "I've set the explosives. Once we get close, we'll light the fuse. No mistakes." The small group of fighters moved quickly and silently, slipping through the tunnels, avoiding patrols, and climbing toward the city's edge. Their hearts pounded with every step. They knew the risks. If caught, there would be no mercy. As they reached the launch area, the hum of engines filled the air. The massive transport ship hung above the city like a ghost, waiting to leave. Alien soldiers guarded the perimeter, but the humans had learned their patterns. "Ready?" Rain whispered. "Ready," Mira answered. Explosions erupted in the dark. Flames lit the sky as the fighters detonated charges around the fuel tanks. The transport rocked violently, alarms blaring. Inside the ship, the alien crew scrambled. The leader barked orders in a harsh language, but it was too late. The ship began to break apart, falling toward the earth in a fiery blaze. Below, the humans watched from the shadows, breathless and amazed. "It worked," Sam said, voice shaking. But the victory was short-lived. Suddenly, a loudspeaker crackled to life nearby. The alien leader's voice echoed through the ruins. "You dare attack us?" He snarled, "We will crush your rebellion." Rain stepped forward. "We're not afraid. This is only the beginning." As if to prove his words, alien reinforcements poured into the city streets. The fight was brutal, blasts of energy, screams, and the clash of weapons. Mira ducked behind a crumbling wall, firing back. "They're stronger than we thought." Rain shouted orders, directing the fighters to retreat and regroup. "Fall back. Live to fight another day." They vanished into the underground, the sounds of battle fading behind them. Once safe, Rain looked at his team. "This strike has changed everything. They know we exist. They fear us." Mira nodded. "But so do we. We've just started a war." The fighters understood the truth in her words. The battle for Earth was no longer a distant hope. It was a brutal, desperate reality. And in the silence that followed, a single thought burned in their minds. They must be ready for what came next. Darkness had settled over the prison camp, but the fear inside was louder than ever. Chains rattled, footsteps echoed, and whispers filled the cold air. Tonight was different. Something was about to change. Mira huddled in a corner, her wrists still raw from the metal cuffs. Jonas sat beside her, eyes scanning every shadow. "They think we're broken," he said quietly. "But they don't know what we're planning." A soft beep came from beneath Mira's shirt, a small device glowing faint red. It was a signal, a secret message from the resistance below. Suddenly, lights flickered and went out. The camp was plunged into darkness. Screams echoed as guards shouted orders, their voices frantic. "Now!" A voice crackled in Myra's earpiece. Explosions ripped through the fences, cutting power and breaking locks. From the shadows, resistance fighters poured in, weapons ready and eyes burning with determination. "Free yourselves!" shouted one fighter. "This is your chance." Chains clattered to the ground as prisoners rushed to break free. Mira grabbed a rusty pipe and swung at a guard, knocking him down. Jonas helped a group of children escape. "Keep moving." Rain's voice boomed over a stolen loudspeaker. "We take back our freedom tonight." The camp erupted into chaos, blasts of light, shouts, and the clash of steel. The aliens fought hard, but surprise was on the human side. Mira spotted the alien leader watching from a platform above, his face twisted in anger. "Stop them," he ordered, but the resistance was too strong. Jonas shouted, "They're breaking their chains. They're rising." Fires spread, alarms wailed, and one by one, the prisoners escaped into the surrounding forest. Outside, Rain and his fighters waited. "We've lost many," Rain said grimly. "But tonight we gained hope." Mira looked at the faces around her, scared, bruised, but free. "This is just the beginning," she said. "We will not be slaves." In the distance, alien ships took to the sky, their engines screaming. The fight was far from over, but beneath the stars, humanity's spirit burned brighter than ever. Chains had been broken, hearts had been freed, and the war for Earth had truly begun. The underground base was alive with whispers and hurried footsteps. Flickering lights cast long shadows on the rough stone walls. Captain Rain stood before a glowing table where maps and alien schematics spread out like a puzzle waiting to be solved. "We can't keep fighting blindly," he said, voice low but firm. "We need a way to break their power." Beside him, Sam pointed to a cluster of symbols on the map. "This is where their core shields are kept. Without those, their ships and weapons lose strength. Mira's eyes widened. But that's deep inside the mothership. Getting there would be suicide. Rain's gaze hardened. Maybe, but it's our best chance. If we destroy the shields, the aliens become vulnerable. A scientist in the corner spoke up, nervous but hopeful. We've analyzed the shield tech. It's powered by an energy source that can be disrupted. We just need the right device. Rain nodded. Then we build it. We prepare. And we strike where they least expect. Outside the tunnels, distant explosions echoed as alien patrols searched for signs of resistance. The stakes had never been higher. Mira clenched her fists. This is more than survival now. It's a war for the future. Hours passed as the team worked feverishly, assembling the weapon from stolen parts and old tech. Every sound made them. Jump footsteps, voices, alarms, but none discovered their secret. Finally, the device hummed with power, glowing bright red. Rain looked at his team. Tomorrow, we go to the heart of the enemy. We take their shields, and we turn the tide. As the fighters prepared for the mission, none spoke of fear. Only hope and determination filled the room. Because sometimes, the smallest spark can light the darkest night. Under the cold shadow of the alien mothership, the resistance gathered. Captain Rain checked the stolen codes one last time, his hands steady but heart pounding. The night was thick with tension. Every breath felt heavy, every second a countdown. We move quietly, Rain said. No mistakes. We get to the shield core and destroy it. Then chaos. Mira glanced at the others, their faces pale but determined. This is our chance. For Earth, for freedom. The group slipped aboard the mothership. Through a hidden docking bay. Inside, the corridors were cold and strange, humming with alien energy. Every shadow could hide a soldier, every corner a trap. Suddenly, a patrol appeared. Sam raised his weapon and fired, a quick, silent blast that dropped the guards without noise. The team pressed forward, hearts racing, ahead the shield core. Room glowed with a fierce blue light. But guarding it was the alien leader himself, tall and fierce, eyes burning with hatred. You think you can stop us? He growled, drawing a blade that shimmered with power. Rain stepped forward. We don't think, we will. A fierce battle erupted, blades clashing, weapons firing, the room alive with sparks and shouts. Mira dodged a strike and fired at a control panel, causing the shield's energy to flicker. With a desperate cry, Rain lunged at the leader, forcing him back. The alien stumbled and slammed his blade into the shield core. A sudden explosion rocked the room. The shield flickered and died. Outside, the alien fleet shuddered as their weapons powered down. Hidden human ships jumped into the sky, launching a fierce attack. Flames lit the darkness as ships burned and crashed. The sky was fire and noise, Earth's rebellion in full roar. Back in the mothership, Rain looked out at the chaos. We did it, he said breathlessly. This war can be won. But the alien leader's final words echoed in his mind. Your species will die screaming. Rain clenched his fists. Maybe, but not today. The fire in the sky was just the beginning. The sky above Earth burned with fire. Alien ships, once proud and strong, fell like shooting stars, crashing into oceans and forests. The humans watched from hidden places, hearts pounding with hope and fear. This was the final battle. Captain Rain stood on the bridge of a small human ship, looking at the chaos. His face was tired, marked with scars from the fight. Beside him, Mira held the controls steady. They're running, she said, eyes sharp. The aliens know they can't win. Rain nodded slowly. They wanted slaves. They got war. Suddenly, a warning light flashed. The alien leader's ship appeared, larger and more menacing than ever. It moved like a dark shadow, cutting through the battle with deadly speed. We're not done yet, Rain said. Get ready. The alien ship fired, blasting the human fleet with powerful beams. Explosions rocked the smaller ships and screams filled the air. But the humans fought back harder, using every weapon and trick they had in the alien ships. Control room, the leader stood alone, his face twisted in anger and fear. "You will pay," he growled. "You will regret this day." Outside, Rain and Mira launched a daring attack, flying straight into the heart of the enemy ship. They dodged fire and smashed through barriers until they reached the core. Rain planted explosives on the engine. "Time to end this," he said as they escaped. The alien ship began to crumble, shaking violently. The leader's screams echoed. As his empire fell apart around him, back on Earth, the last alien ships turned and fled, their pride broken. The humans watched the sky clear, feeling the weight of victory and loss. Mira looked at Rain. "We survived. We're free." Rain smiled faintly. "They came for slaves. They left with scars they will never forget." The war was over, but the story of Earth's fight would live forever. And in the quiet after the fire, hope burned brighter than any star.